Hi guys. We have a couple of interesting articles today from the Jewish press. Both are from the Jewish press, and one is called "Return to Magdeburg." That's about a group of three women that have decided they are going back to Magdeburg in Germany to commemorate their families that were killed in the Holocaust. And this article is by Karen Guth, Karen G-U-T-H. That's from the Woman's Outlook part of the Jewish Press, Friday, December 31st, 2010. And we'll start reading right now. Here, Return to Magdeburg. There is a halacha which admonishes us not to place a stumbling block in front of a blind person. Halacha means a law that admonishes us not to place a stumbling block in front of a blind person. The question is, what constitutes a blind person? Although the answer medically appears to be a simple one, what if we are speaking metaphorically? In addition, could there be an exception to this rule? If the results are l'shem chinuch, for the sake of education, and l'shem zikaron, for the sake of remembering. There is an artist from Cologne by the name of Gunter Demnig who has argued that the first thing one forgets about another person is their name. Therefore, we must compel the citizens of European countries, first and foremost the Germans, to remember the names of the victims of the Shoah, the Holocaust. Thus was born the concept and the reality of the Shtolpershtein, against forgetting. Shtolpershtein, against forgetting. The word Shtolpershtein is literally translated as stumbling blocks. So in other words, they're making stumbling blocks, theoretically, not really, little blocks to commemorate. The daughters of Clara Horowitz, Munchtuk, Miriam Orbach, a life coach who lives and practices in the Jerusalem and Gush Etzion area, Saba Gita Kozer, and Numi Munchtuk were invited to return to the city of Magdeburg, Germany, a medieval city by the Elbe River, to participate in a Shtolpershtein ceremony. The ceremony took place on November 9th, 2010, which coincided with ceremonies around the country commemorating Kristallnacht. What exactly is a Shtolpershtein, and how does it enable the everyday man on the street to remember the victims of the Holocaust? Shtolpershtein are tiles made out of brass. The more one walks on them, the shinier they become. They are placed a few milliliters above the other stones or the pavement of a sidewalk, causing people to, quote, stumble over them. It's a little bit over the other stones. This forces the pedestrians to stop, look down, and read the information engraved upon the brass tile. In the case of Miriam, Saba, and Numi, there are stones imprinted with the names of Moses and Marie Horowitz, their maternal grandparents. Both Moses and Marie lived in Magdeburg, were deported to different cities, and sent to their deaths by the Nazis. There are over 20,000 Shtolpershtein in cities across Germany, and their numbers are increasing. They can also be found in Hungary, Poland, Austria, and Holland. The municipalities of each city must agree to participate in this project, and then, with the help of private funds, sometimes from Christian organizations, the families or descendants of those families are contacted, brought to the town or city, and asked to speak at the ceremony about their relatives who were murdered. The city engineer brings the blueprints of the city from the time that the victims lived there, and the tiles are placed as close as possible to their former residence or place of work. The Shtolpershtein ceremonies take place between the months of May through mid-November, when the weather is the most conducive to holding a ceremony outside. Moses and Marie Horowitz's stories are not so different from many other Jews who moved from city to city to escape the pogroms of Europe. They moved from Tarnow in Poland and settled in Magdeburg, as Miriam wrote, quote, to find solace and quiet new beginnings in a foreign land. Little did they know, unquote. In November of 1938, Moses was deported back to Tarnow. He received permission in 1939 to return to Magdeburg for his son's bar mitzvah. But once he returned to Tarnow, one moment. But once he returned to Tarnow, he was never heard from again. Let's see. He received permission in 1939 to return to Magdeburg for his son's bar mitzvah. But once he returned to Tarnow, he was never heard from again. His family believes he died in the ghetto. Marie moved with her 3 children to Belgium. There she was, quote, denounced by someone and sent to Berlin. From there, she was sent to Riga and later deported to the Stutthof concentration camp where she died. The Horowitz family was blessed, and all 3 of Moses and Maria's children survived the Shoah, and to date, this family now consists of 48 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren. Miriam said at the ceremony, quote, we sincerely appreciate the opportunity to participate in this ceremony to commemorate our grandparents. We can never forget what happened to our people over 60 years ago. Hopefully, with God's help and with your efforts to educate your future generations, this will never happen again. The woman who translated Miriam's speech at the ceremony is a teacher. She told Miriam, quote, we are obligated to teach the Holocaust every year in a meaningful way, unquote. Their guide explained to them that there is a concept in modern Germany of, quote, cultural responsibility, unquote. Cultural responsibility. Now the people want to embrace the knowledge of Judaism, its people and culture. Perhaps if a stumbling block could be used to help, quote, the blind man see in the broadest sense of the word, the rabbis would agree that the Shtolpershtein is a positive object. Here we have over here Miriam, Saba, and Naomi, and they were asked to participate in the Magda, and also here this is a sample of the Shtolpershtein. We also have another article here. This is for children, for youngsters that are interested in making making an essay about the Holocaust. And this is they're able to do so. There's only a few days left at this point. This is from the Friday, March 11, 2011. Here, 2011. There you go, right over here. 2011 Holocaust Visual Arts and Writing Contest. So this is for children that want to write about the Holocaust, that want to participate. The theme, the Holocaust. Why will I remember? This is the theme. Why will I remember the Holocaust? The contest dates September 1st, 2010 through April 15th, 2011. Eligibility, the elementary school, grades 4 to 5, middle school, grades 6 to 8, high school, grades 9 to 12, and colleges and university. The categories, writing contest. It's a writing contest. The student can submit poetry, an essay, or a story. Avoid research papers. Limit 1,000 words. Written on entries must be typed and double-spaced on one side of the paper. Visual arts contest. They can also do a visual art subject. Students can submit any media, including sculpture, computer graphic design, collage, music, videography, PowerPoints, and painting. Entries must have an index card indicating name, home, phone, email, and email address, if there is one. Grade, school address, city, and teacher. Please print clearly. Each entry must represent the original effort of the writer and/or artist. Awards. First place winner in each category will receive a $100 U.S. savings bond. All entries will receive a certificate of merit. Everybody that enters will receive a certificate of merit. Winners will be announced May 2nd, 2011. Deliver or mail entries to. Written entries can be emailed to Ms. Merle R. Shtolpershtein, Director of Educational Outreach, Holocaust Documentation and Education Center, Inc., 2031 Harrison Street, Hollywood, Florida, 33020. Phone 954-929-5690, extension 206. Email merle@hdec.org. The Center reserves the right to reproduce, publish, and exhibit all entries. The winning entries will become the exclusive property of the Holocaust Documentation and Education Center. Entries that are not awarded prizes must be picked up by June 15, 2011, or they too will become property of the Center. So here we have it. Here we have it over here. You can send it to Ms. Earl R. Shtolpershtein, Holocaust Documentation Center, 2031 Harrison Street, Hollywood, Florida, 33020. Phone 954-929-5690, extension 206. Email Merle, MERLE, @hdec.org. Here, you can take a good picture of that so they'll know. And this is open to elementary school grades 4 to 5, middle school grades 6 to 8, high school grades 9 to 12, colleges and universities. And it's a limit 1,000 words. Oh, okay. So thank you very much again for tuning in, and take care.